pigs gone wild. Researchers found that Texas has the worst feral hog problem in the entire country.
For decades, feral hogs have been considered one of the most destructive invasive animals in North America. Farmers have spent years trying to stop them with traps, guns, fences, helicopters, almost every tool imaginable. And yet the hogs kept winning. Their numbers kept growing. Their damage kept spreading. But recently, wildlife researchers started noticing something unexpected. In several regions where hog populations used to explode every year, the numbers suddenly began to fall. Not slowly, not because of new government programs, and not because hunters finally caught up with them. The strange part is that the animal responsible has been living in those forests the entire time. It's an animal most people would never imagine capable of challenging one of the toughest invasive species in America. And the truth behind it reveals something surprising about how nature solves problems that humans struggle to control. To understand why this matters, we have to go back more than 500 years. Because the feral hog crisis in the United States did not begin recently. It began with a decision made during the early days of European exploration. In the 1500s, Spanish explorers arrived along the American coastline carrying livestock with them. Among those animals were domestic pigs. The explorers released some of these pigs intentionally, leaving them behind as a future food source for later expeditions. It seemed like a practical solution. Travelers returning months later could hunt the pigs and survive without bringing large food supplies. But pigs are incredibly adaptable animals. Once released into the wild, they spread quickly through forests, wetlands, and farmland. Over time, they began breeding freely. The situation became even more complicated in the early 20th century. During that period, wealthy hunters in the United States imported Eurasian wild boars for sport hunting. These animals were very different from farm pigs. They were leaner, stronger, and far more aggressive. When domestic pigs escaped farms and interbred with these wild boars, a new hybrid population emerged.
Getting an accurate picture of how many there really are isn't easy. What we do know for sure is there's a lot.
The result was a tougher, more resilient animal that combined the adaptability of domestic pigs with the survival instincts of wild boars. These hybrids are what we now call feral hogs, and they spread faster than almost anyone expected. Today, the United States Department of Agriculture estimates that nearly 7 million feral hogs roam the country. Texas alone holds roughly 2.6 million of them. They appear in nearly every county across the state. Their expansion has been faster than many native species. Part of the reason is their incredible reproductive ability. A female hog can produce 2 litters each year, and each litter can contain 10 or more piglets. If conditions are good, populations can double in a short period of time. But reproduction is only part of the problem. Feral hogs are extremely intelligent animals. They can run at speeds close to 30 miles per hour, jump fences more than 3 feet high, and push through barriers that would stop most wildlife. Their bodies are protected by thick skin and fat layers that make them surprisingly difficult to kill with light ammunition. They are also opportunistic omnivores. They eat roots, crops, insects, reptiles, bird eggs, small animals, and almost anything else they can find. In agricultural regions, entire fields can be destroyed in a single night as groups of hogs dig through soil searching for food. Across the United States, the economic damage caused by feral hogs is estimated to reach billions of dollars every year. Farmers regularly report devastating losses. A single group of hogs can wipe out acres of crops overnight. They tear up irrigation systems, collapse underground pipes, and destroy expensive equipment simply while digging through the ground.
The problem does not stop with agriculture. In several cities across Texas, feral hogs have begun appearing in suburban neighborhoods. They dig up lawns, damage golf courses, and even wander onto roads and airport runways. In some cases, flight operations have been temporarily halted because hogs moved onto airfields at dawn. They also carry dozens of diseases that can affect livestock and humans. Despite all these problems, controlling their population has proven extremely difficult. Traditional trapping methods often fail because hogs quickly learn to recognize traps and avoid them. Hunting removes some animals, but survivors become more cautious and reproduce even faster. For many years, farmers described the situation as a battle they simply could not win. But while people were struggling to find solutions, something else was happening quietly in the environment. Around 2014, wildlife researchers working in parts of Texas and the southeastern United States began noticing unusual patterns. Feral hog nests were being disturbed and piglets were disappearing. At first, scientists suspected larger predators, such as mountain lions or bears. But the tracks left behind told a different story. They belonged to coyotes. This surprised many researchers. Coyotes are much smaller than adult feral hogs, and most experts assumed they posed little threat to them. But trail cameras began capturing behavior that challenged that assumption. Instead of attacking adult hogs directly, coyotes were targeting the most vulnerable members of the population, piglets. The strategy was simple but effective. Coyotes would approach hog nests quietly, often from downwind, so the mother hog could not detect their scent. When the adult left temporarily to forage, the coyotes moved in. Working together, they would grab a piglet and disappear before the mother could return. In some cases, multiple coyotes coordinated their movements. One acted as a lookout while another approached the nest. The entire event sometimes lasted only a few seconds. Laboratory evidence confirmed what the camera suggested. Researchers examining coyote stomach contents and waste samples began finding piglet remains with increasing frequency. In some regions, piglet DNA appeared in a significant percentage of samples. This meant coyotes were not simply scavenging dead animals, they were actively hunting the next generation of hogs. The effect of this behavior is subtle but powerful. Instead of attacking adult hogs, coyotes interrupt reproduction. By removing piglets early in life, they reduce the number of animals that survive to adulthood. Over time, this can slow population growth dramatically. In several areas with strong coyote populations, researchers observed noticeable declines in hog numbers. In some places, piglet survival rates dropped sharply and the overall population stabilized. In other words, the ecosystem had begun correcting the imbalance on its own. Ironically, during many of these years, humans were still trying to eliminate coyotes.
For decades, coyotes were viewed primarily as pests that threatened livestock. Some states even offered financial rewards for hunting them. But in places where coyotes were heavily removed, feral hog populations often grew even faster. Without predators targeting piglets, the hog population gained a major advantage. Only recently have many wildlife managers begun recognizing the unexpected role coyotes play in controlling feral hog reproduction. This does not mean coyotes can eliminate the hog problem entirely, but it does mean they are part of a natural balance that had been overlooked. Today, farmers and wildlife officials increasingly use a combination of methods to manage hog populations. Modern smart traps equipped with cameras and remote controls allow farmers to capture entire groups at once. Helicopter hunting operations help remove large numbers in remote areas. Some experimental programs even explore specialized bait systems designed to target hogs specifically. Yet, alongside all these tools, one of the most important allies may already be living in the forests and fields: the coyote. For years, humans tried to solve the feral hog crisis by fighting nature. But the surprising lesson emerging from Texas and other regions is that sometimes the ecosystem already contains part of the solution. By allowing natural predator relationships to exist, the balance that invasive species disrupted can slowly begin to repair itself. And in the ongoing battle between feral hogs and the landscapes they threaten, the quiet work of a common predator may be one of the most powerful forces keeping the problem from growing even worse.